And the last one I was going to think about was capital improvement, which is something I think we're doing more common lately. And that's transferring of properties between owners. And if you've got, for example, and it's really essentially what it's supposed to do or what it can do from an accountant's perspective is reduce the CGT liable for a person or the stamp duty. For example, if you've got a property that's built, okay, so you've got a property, the father decides to do major works to the property, and he spends $400,000 demolishing it, redoing the house, transfers it to the kids, and then the kids would then have, once, if they were to rent it out or whatever, there would be maybe CGT on the property. Now, then they get whacked with, for example, the property was purchased for the father for $100,000. They put $400,000 on it, that's $500,000. Now the kids go sell it for $2 million many years later. Now, technically, it's meant to be a $1.9 million capital gain because $100,000 up until $2 million is $1.9 million. Now, how are we going to quantify the $400,000 if the father built it with no evidence at all? Quantity surveyor. Come in, check the floor plans, check the architecturals, check the OC's permits at that point in time, request from council, documentation would have been submitted, part of the DA, review all that, measure it, work out the construction costs. If we can do an inspection, great, get in there and check it out, and we'll come up with a construction cost estimate of potentially around that $400,000 mark and help that client save $400,000 on CGT.
Wow.
So some of these things can be a value adds, and we've only come across it not because we knew or we know the legislation. It's because we work closely with accountants and they're giving us feedback. Hey, this would be a great help for the accountant, for the client, if we can help quantify and justify, verify what the construction cost base is.
So Tuan, just from what you've kind of provided there, it's massive loads of knowledge, right? So it's really not just a one-stop kind of solution. There's a solution for each scenario, and I guess the best rule of thumb is to really just ask someone or shop around at least, or come and see you guys at Duo Tax, because you guys are definitely across it. And it's not necessarily just for investors as well, even people that have got their PPR, they have done any form of capital works, and life happens and families move on, things are getting transferred from their parents to children and vice versa. So it's always wise during that whole transaction process to engage someone like yourself to see what can be done, because things are always changing. I mean, if someone's lived in a property for 20 odd years, there's a high chance they have done work to that property.
That's right.
So that's awesome.
And it's that simple. In this day and age where we have the luxury of not having to get a quantity surveyor out to the house to get a depreciation, you can actually get you a guaranteed deduction. We guarantee deductions before we even give you a quote.
Okay. There you go.
So
that's
people
awesome.
know where they stand. They know what value they're getting, and everyone knows, what kind of return on investment there is on engaging a quantity surveyor. And having questions to us, we've got everything I talk about here. I share it on my YouTube channel because
nice.
Because it's information everybody should be entitled to.
Definitely.
And I am a quantity surveyor. It's a very niche thing that I do. I'm very specific about what I do, and that is work out construction costs for the purpose of depreciation. But I think that there's no need to stop there when we can educate so many more people once we've experienced it ourselves. And not just my personal experience, but through my professional experience with an accountant, engaging with them and seeing what they're doing for their customers and their clients through various scenarios, then I can really create purposeful, value in what I do, whether it's through my reports or through the camera. Why not? This is why we do it. And, everybody can do it. It's just a matter of connecting with someone. But, starting with an accountant for me, anyway, it worked really well. It's a great place to start. And if that person isn't giving you that response that you're looking for and the engagement you're getting out of these videos, but there are great accountants out there, and I always highly recommend finding the right team, right? And you guys know, as buyers agents, like having the right team is the most powerful tool.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome.